This evening, Mahaicony rice farmer found dead in a ditch after family reported him missing. Ministry of Labor launched a special skills training program in Linden. Father of two fatally stabbed on Mandela Avenue. In the region, Hurricane Fiona, at least 6 killed by storm in Caribbean. And internationally, New York Attorney General sues Donald Trump for fraud. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. A father of two was fatally stabbed over allegations of abuse at Mandela Avenue, northeast Le Penitence on Tuesday, September 20, 2022. Dead is 25-year-old Lester Sobers. He was reportedly stabbed to death by his reputed wife's brother-in-law during a scuffle after he allegedly beat and threatened her. Reported that before Sobers was killed, he physically abused his wife at their home in Sophia. The woman escaped and went to her sister's home on Mandela Avenue for refuge. However, Sobers followed her and allegedly threatened her. As a result, the woman went to the East Le Penitence police station where she filed a report against Sobers. He left the Mandela location and later returned armed with a cutlass. The woman's brother-in-law intervened and asked Sobers to calm down and return home, which he did. However, sometime after midnight, Sobers returned accompanied by his brother, and they both began to verbally abuse his 22-year-old reputed wife, her sister, and her brother-in-law. This caused the brother-in-law to again intervene and ask Sobers to stop, but Sobers ran up to the man and lashed him to his head with a cutlass, and a fight ensued between the two. During the fight, Sobers was stabbed in his chest with a knife by the woman's brother-in-law. He collapsed and died. Police have since arrested the brother-in-law and Sobers' brother as investigations continues. 179 Lindeners are participating in 6 specialized courses tailored to the needs of the region. The Ministry of Labor, through the Board of Industrial Training, launched a special skill training program on Tuesday in Linden, Region 10, to build human resource capacity and bridge the deficiencies that exist in the labor force. Minister of Labor Joseph Hamilton spearheaded a 2-day engagement in the mining town to inspect the ongoing training programs. The program commenced last month and is expected to be completed by December. The training programs include motor vehicle repairs, electrical installation, joinery, auto electrics and electronics, welding and fabrication, air conditioning and refrigeration repairs, heavy-duty equipment operations, and food preparations. Upon completion, persons will receive an accredited certificate and license. During the visit, Minister Hamilton met with the trainees from the air conditioning installation and repairs courses who were repairing AC units at a community health center. Meanwhile, both technical officers have recorded an increase in the participation of women in the programs, which Minister Hamilton noted is a win for the country. The programs have also been rolled out in regions 2, 5, and 6. It is similarly tailored to the geographic needs of the region. The ministry also launched a program in Kokwani, which has approximately 70 persons benefiting. The motionless body of a 42-year-old rice farmer was found with stab wounds in a ditch on Wednesday after going missing on Tuesday following a fight between his friends and another rice farmer. Dead is Richard Prasad of Wash Close, Mahaicony, East Coast Demerara. According to reports, Prasad, along with a 34-year-old laborer and 2 other friends, were cooking and imbibing during the day. Later that night, around 9:30 p.m., the suspect, a 25-year-old rice farmer of Johanna Creek, Mahaicony, was driving his tractor when he hit the 34-year-old laborer's car. According to the police report, the suspect's brother, who was driving behind him, got involved in an argument with the laborer when he took out an object from his car and stabbed the laborer. A fight then broke out between the friends of Prasad and the suspect, who followed him after he went into a yard. It is unclear what transpired after that. However, Prasad was not seen, nor did he return home to his family, who began to search for him. However, around 9 a.m. on Wednesday, Prasad's body was discovered floating in a trench. Police said the body was observed with a stab wound to the middle of the chest and bruises to the left eye. The body is at the Bailey's funeral parlor awaiting a post-mortem examination as investigations are ongoing. Stick around after the break. MOCA will soon have a fresh new recreational space, and Guyana-Suriname ferry service MV Kanawaima will be out of operations until further notice.
Guyana goes on show from September 16th to October 2nd for the first ever Cricket Carnival with an exciting lineup of parties, concerts, pageants, CPL cricket semis and finals, and Carnival Costumes Parade. Book your tickets now. For more information, log on to cricketcarnival592.com or our social media pages. Come and experience our people, our food, and culture from September 16th to October 2nd.
The sixer! That's the first of the night.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. 7 persons, including a bedridden pensioner and 4 children, are now homeless after a fire of unknown origin ravaged their Amelia's Ward Linden home on Tuesday, September 20th. According to the owner of the home, Travita Fleming, the blaze started sometime around 11:30 a.m. She said her 19-year-old son heard a crackling sound in the ceiling, and upon inquiring, he realized that smoke was emanating from it. The man managed to pick up his grandfather and rush to safety before the house became engulfed in flames. Fleming said the family was unable to save anything. She further stated that the home was built about 9 years ago and she never had any electrical issues with it, so for the fire to start in the ceiling was surprising. The distraught woman said she and her family are currently seeking lodging at a family member's and are trying to secure basic items such as clothing. Her daughter, a grade 6 student, urgently needs to get back to school. She lost all her textbooks and school supplies that were recently purchased for the new school term. If you would like to assist the Fleming family, you can contact Miss Fleming on 649-0843. Pupils at the MOCA Arcade Primary School on Wednesday received 20 electrical fans and 2 Samsung Smart televisions, a promise kept by President Dr. Irfan Ali. The president made the commitment during his visit to the East Bank community earlier this month. During the outreach, teachers raised concerns about students' discomfort due to the heat and the need to access educational programs. Handing over the items, Public Service Minister Soni Parag stated that they would assist in creating a more conducive learning experience for pupils, reiterating the government's commitment to ensuring that no child is left behind.
It matters not what region or what community you're from. Our children across Guyana means the world to us, and we are going to make them, and we have always done so, but we'll continue to make them a priority in this country.
The donation of the equipment is one of a series of commitments the government made to MOCA Arcade residents. Several other projects to improve the community are underway, including the construction of a brand new recreational ground in the school's compound. The ground will be utilized to conduct sports and recreational activities for the entire community. Previously, President Ali had said some $192 million had been earmarked for the infrastructural development in MOCA. The management of the Ghana-Suriname ferry service wishes to advise the general public that the MV Kanawaima will be out of operations until further notice. This is due to the mechanical failure of the second engine on board the MV Kanawaima. The public is asked to take note that the management is working assiduously to have the issue rectified in order to resume service between Guyana and Suriname at the soonest possible time. Management apologizes for any inconvenience this closure may cause. For further information, you can contact the office on telephone number 339-2787. Don't go away after the break. Hurricane Fiona, at least 6 killed by storm in the Caribbean, and the Netherlands energy crisis. Households cut themselves off from gas.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hey yo, GT Massive, this is Double M. All hear me out. Right now it's all about the Marshall Super Concert, October 1st. Right here is cricket, is carnival, is soca in Guyana. Hey, ha!
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Hurricane Fiona has killed at least 6 people in the Caribbean. The Category 4 storm is tracking towards the Bahamas and Bermuda. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rapallo reports.
As floodwaters from Hurricane Fiona recede, for families in southern Puerto Rico, it's time to clean up.
Category 1, like we don't know how this happened, like how it got this bad. With just being Category 1.
It's a lot of rain.
It's a lot of rain, exactly.
Yahaira Rodriguez says the hurricane caught her off guard.
There was the bathroom. It's horrible right now.
Her home was still being repaired after being damaged during Hurricane Maria in 2017. Yahaira says she wasn't expecting the damage from Fiona to be so severe.
It was worse than Maria because in Maria it was more air than water, like the wind, it was really strong. And in this one, it was more rain and less wind.
A state of emergency remains in effect in Puerto Rico, allowing the U.S. government to send assistance to tens of thousands of people.
And this level of federal assistance is going to greatly assist in our ability to continue to provide the efforts that are needed to support those who need it most.
The southern region of the island was the worst hit by Fiona. Here, floodwaters are still on the doorsteps of many residents.
Up and down the neighborhood streets here in the community of Salinas in southern Puerto Rico, it's the same scene playing out. People are clearing out the mud, throwing away their damaged personal belongings. The storm may have passed, but the suffering is still not over.
Some 500,000 people in Puerto Rico are without running water, and thousands more without electricity. Authorities warn it could be several days before electricity returns to everyone on the U.S. island territory. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Salinas, Puerto Rico.
New York's Attorney General has announced a major lawsuit against former U.S. President Donald Trump and his company. Letitia James is alleging business fraud involving some of Trump's organization's most valuable assets. Al Jazeera's Patty Calhan reports.
Former President Donald Trump has always been keen to put the focus on the many buildings he owns, but now he's being accused of fraudulently misrepresenting the value of those buildings. And this is the subject of a civil court case announced Wednesday by the New York Attorney General. The allegation, professional assessors would decide how much the buildings were worth, but when the Trumps went to get loans or insurance policies, they dramatically inflated the amount in order to pay less interest and get cheaper premiums.
This conduct cannot be brushed aside and dismissed as some sort of good faith mistake. The statements of financial condition were greatly exaggerated, grossly inflated, objectively false, and therefore fraudulent and illegal.
Some examples: his club in Florida, Mar-a-Lago, the likely worth was $75 million, but the Trumps alleged it was worth $739 million. 40 Wall Street in Manhattan, likely worth $220 million, but they put the value at $527 million. And Trump Park Avenue, likely worth $84.5 million, alleged worth $135.9 million.
Claiming you have money that you do not have does not amount to the art of the deal. It's the art of the steal.
Trump responded to the allegations on his social media site, calling the Attorney General racist and accusing her of doing this to win an election, writing, "I never thought this case would be brought until I saw her really bad poll numbers. She is a fraud who campaigned on a Get Trump platform." But experts warn these kinds of white-collar cases can be hard to win.
You have to show that there's intent, a specific intent to defraud. And the lack of emails, if there isn't somebody who will testify against President Trump and say that he had the intent to defraud, that will be something that he can certainly use in his defense.
This is a civil case, but the Attorney General has referred her findings to jurisdictions that can bring criminal charges and the Internal Revenue Service. She's asking a judge to ban the defendants from being able to work as an officer for any New York companies for life, ban them from buying commercial real estate or work with New York banks for 5 years. And she wants the Trumps to pay $250 million. Last month, Trump had a chance to defend the practice. He pleaded the fifth so as not to incriminate himself hundreds of times. Now his lawyers will make the case for a trial that could have huge repercussions for the Trumps and their businesses. Patty Calhan, Al Jazeera, Washington.
And internationally, more than 1 million households in the Netherlands are struggling to pay energy bills that have doubled or tripled in recent months. The Netherlands has the highest gas prices in Europe. Al Jazeera's Step Vessen reports.
The only gas Wilma Marais still uses is for the tea lights, used for her improvised stove. The terracotta pots retain heat, which helps keep her a little warmer as the colder weather approaches. The shop owner decided to have her gas cut off after her bill doubled to $345 a month, with a warning from her provider that it could reach $700.
De winkel die zet heel weinig om.
My shop has hardly any income. I lost customers during the COVID-19 pandemic, and now inflation is so high people don't have money to buy children's clothes. So my income has really dropped below minimum. I know I can't pay these high energy bills.
While it's getting colder in her house behind these doors, millions of chrysanthemums are thriving in warm temperatures. But greenhouse farmers depend on gas to continue operating during winter. And many have decided to stop growing flowers and vegetables in the next few months, something that could seriously affect Dutch exports.
Normally, if we have like every year like 10% extra cost, it's not a problem, but it's now like 10 times more than 2 years ago. It's crazy. In this way, if nobody can survive. No company, no people with a household, nobody.
With new techniques that use less fossil fuels, Wouter Duivenstein hopes to be able to continue his business, although he's worried that the prices of flowers will climb so high that demand will dry up.
The Dutch pay twice as much for gas as other Europeans due to hefty energy tax and their dependence on gas to generate electricity. And while other EU members have capped their energy prices, the Dutch government is being accused of doing too little, too late.
Protesters carrying flags upside down booed the royal family after King Willem-Alexander delivered his annual budget address, promising a price cap on energy and $18 billion to compensate poor families. A recent survey suggests that 7 in 10 Dutch citizens have lost trust in the government.
If you get problems of whether you can pay your food and energy, because that's what we're talking about. Even if they work full-time, if they can still pay the basic necessities, then yeah, that's the best way of eroding trust in your own government.
Opposition parties say that the government's aid package has not been thought through and fear it won't be enough to keep the country warm this winter, and that plans to support entrepreneurs to keep their businesses running are too vague and have come too late. Step Vaassen, Al Jazeera, Hoek van Holland, the Netherlands.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.